In this tutorial, I want to show you how to make a visual element based on an audio track. So I'm going to right-click and import a file, a music file. So you can import WAV files, MP3 files. This is an MP3. I'm just going to bring it in, and I'm going to throw it down here on my composition. I usually throw them on the bottom. It doesn't really matter. You can tell it's a audio file because it's got this little speaker, and it doesn't have an eyeball, so you can't hide the visual because there is no visual. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it down there at the bottom. And then we're going to put in a new solid. I'm going to go ahead and click on the top layer so that my new solid comes on top. I'm going to go to new layer, new and solid, just like we have been. Pick a color. I like to usually pick a color that's different if I already have a solid on here. Just so that, this one's blue and this one's red. Makes it a little easier for me to see. Let's go ahead and label it. So I'm going to right click, rename. I'm going to call this audio spectrum because that's the effect I'm going to apply to it. And actually this one was my background, so I'm going to call it background. It's a good idea to keep your layers labeled. Okay, so here's my audio spectrum, and over here in the presets and effects, go ahead and type in audio. And either one of these are kind of fun to play with, but I would like to play with the audio spectrum first. So I'm going to drag and drop it over there. And at this point, it's pretty boring because it's not tied to the audio layer. So in your effects control, the very top one you choose is this audio layer. So you just say, hey, I want you to, be affected by my music layer. So I'm going to click on this music layer, and immediately you're going to see it changes. The bar is going to start to change as I drag through this. Now, it's not a bad idea to double click on this layer and just kind of isolate it so that you can see it a little bit better without the background going. Just makes my computer run a little bit faster. Later we'll go back to the composition and see how it's affected, but for now let's just stick with this. All right, you've got a lot of things over here that you can play with, and that's what I recommend you start with. So for example, thickness, I can just click right on this text. It's scrubbable text, and you can see it's changing. It's getting thicker, and now it's a little easier to see as I go up and down. Let's get to a spot that I can see it. Maximum height, I like to play around with that, so you can stretch this out, make it bigger or smaller. The color, so for example, right now the inside is pink. I could make that yellow, and the outside I could make blue or something like that. So it's really easy to change the colors there. Another thing I like to do is sometimes come down here to sides. Right now it's coming off both sides. If I hit A, see it's coming off the top. If I hit B, it'll come off the bottom, and A and B is both. So you can see it's really easy to play around with and tweak. So let's go back to the composition and give it a second. There it is. And you can see it's having a hard time playing back the background, my video clip, and this all at the same time. So you may end up having to do a RAM preview to render and see what this is going to look like, and it may take a little while. Now, this is a neat element. I could put it behind me, in front of me. You can see it's got automatically kind of got an alpha channel around the different visual element. You could duplicate this, do all sorts of neat things with it. So play around, experiment with this.